In today's video, we're going to discuss all the different portfolio holdings that I have. It's been about 7 months since I've made a portfolio update video, and I just want to show you kind of where I'm at right now. Definitely a lot of changes to the portfolio. The whole purpose of this channel is to get the highest possible return using stocks as an investment vehicle. My goal is to hit $1 million within the next 10 years between my 4 different accounts. I have a growth investment account, I have a dividend investment account, I have a 401k, as well as I have an option account, and we'll go through each one of these different accounts. So if you're interested, definitely go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to like the video as well. So the first thing I want to discuss is my actual net worth. So over here, my total net worth is $237,434.58. I have each one of my different accounts here that serve a different purpose. In my growth portfolio, I predominantly own what I would call as hypergrowth companies, and if you're trying to build wealth rapidly, what the focus is you need to focus on less diversification, more concentration. So if you have a company that you have a high conviction in, you predominantly want to put a lot of your money there. So that's what I'm doing with Tesla. Tesla return over the last 5 years has been about over 100% a year, and ideally, if the trend continues, hopefully I could retire or get to my $1 million mark within the next 10 years. The more kind of slow and steady approaches would be my dividend investing that I have in my Roth IRA, and that total portfolio value is like about $23,000. The skew is more towards like large cap companies that can pay out dividends. And the goal here is not necessarily to rapidly acquire wealth, but to maintain wealth as well as get passive income with dividend payments. 401k, very similar to what the dividends or the Roth IRA. My focus here is just to focus on long-term growth, not trying to rapidly grow my account using this. This is like the slow and steady approach, and this is the tested approach that many people have become millionaires by using 401ks. You have on like this left side over here, like the safer investments, where it's me trying to grow my wealth rapidly is using those like hypergrowth companies, which predominantly I own Tesla. And then I have a day trading account, which I'll very lightly touch on. We'll talk about that later. Looking over on my monthly net worth chart, I've been tracking it. The highest monthly net worth that I've ever had is $385,000, which is right here in this middle portion, sometime in October, November of 2021. And then ever since then, the stock market has just been on a steady decline. And then my total portfolio value, as you can see here, is $237,000, which is not the worst that it's ever been. Definitely needs room for improvement there. With all the different things on inflation going on, the Ukraine war, we don't know what necessarily is going to happen in the future. But I believe the key here is just continually cost averaging money into all 4 of these different accounts. So whenever all my expenses are paid, I predominantly put in whatever's left over into this growth portfolio. So every 2 weeks, I put in about $230 into my Roth IRA, which would equal out to $6,000 a year. My 401k is just automatically taken out of my checks. My day trade account, I initially funded it with $1,197, and we'll talk about this day trading account when we get there. And then just whatever's left over, we put into this Tesla account, because again, I'm trying to rapidly grow wealth, and the goal is to hit $1 million in the next 10 years. So the first account I just want to go over here is the Robinhood account. I do use Robinhood. You can say whatever you want, but I still like the user interface of this, and it's just really efficient to use it. Since the last time any of you have seen this video, I used to own a cash secured put that was what you would call like a leap, and I got paid like $49,000 for it. I closed that position out because I had enough cash to cover it. My financial situation is absolutely stabilized. I don't own anything that I can get margin called for. I just strictly own these Tesla shares right here, and that is it. So the portfolio value is $155,000. In the last week, you can see I lost 22 grand. And again, these are paper losses. I haven't actually lost the money because I haven't sold the stock. Year to date, my total loss is $56,000. So this portfolio should be about like $206,000 if I was at my break-even point. But it is what it is. I'm going to keep dollar cost averaging. These, like every Tesla and all these amazing stocks are on sale, so I'm going to be definitely taking advantage of it. So this is my account. The Robinhood is the hypergrowth account. The next account I have is my dividend account, which is my dividend investment account. Interesting right here, total value $24,000, all-time return. I'm still up like 13% here. But what's interesting here, if you look at the market gain versus the earned dividends, this is the powerful thing about dividend investing is even though the market is not doing that well, the earned dividends are making up for it. So what happens is I get paid these dividends, and I can reinvest these dividends back into really great high quality companies, and then ultimately they'll pay me more dividends, which give me more return. And there are some people who live and die by not investing in dividend companies, but there are people who do invest in dividend companies. And to me, having dividend companies, which kind of provide like a passive income source, is a great way to hedge against a market that potentially in the next 10 years could be totally flatlined. And so owning dividend investment companies kind of hedge that gap. So the return, you actually get a return versus not getting a return. And if you guys are interested on what I own here, I own a couple different pies. I have a raw material sector, which predominantly I own, steel companies, lithium mining companies, things like that. I do believe in the future we're going to be mining massive amounts of raw materials to create like electric vehicles, which it requires a ton. Here are my consumers, pretty solid names here. And I'm gonna have a link in the description. So if you're really interested in going through like line by line each one of these, you could definitely do that. Besides that, that is it for the dividend portfolio. Moving on to my TIAA, this the 401k. Again, super simple here. Just whenever you get paid, the money gets pulled out of the check and then it is reinvested here. So going over to my dividend spreadsheet here, my highest dividend month of all time has been this month in September. So if you hear September 2022, I got $176.32. And as you can see, the uptrend is continually growing and that dividend snowball is increasing. So my total amount invested is $21,910. By the end of this year, it will be $24,000. The market value fluctuates, so I don't necessarily really adjust that too much. So far in earned dividends of 2022, I've made $688.24. And this is doing absolutely nothing. This could be payments for your cell phone, maybe like a portion of your 6 months worth of your car insurance. Like, this is just interesting that with $24,000 of get paid out $688. It's interesting to see what the actual dividend yield will be, because we still have 3 more months worth of dividends. Now, options. So I have a love-hate relationship here with the options. If you look above here, I have a total invested of $1,197. If you look on my day trade option growth, I started with about $1,000, and I've turned this all the way up to $4,888, and I totally screwed up. Didn't set a stop loss, and I took a massive L, and now it is worth $224. So kind of looking through all my different P&Ls here. When I took this trade, it was a painful loss. I should have had a tighter stop loss. I was trying to do a reversal play and it did not work. And ideally, do I want to add more money here to bring it back to $1,000? I do. But what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to be a student of the game, and I'm trying to focus on better entries into the option investment game. And the goal here is to day trade options so I can create another source of income, so I can put more money into Tesla. And then at some point, if I'm making good money through this day trade options, I would like to open up like an SCHD account in my Robinhood so I can have Tesla and SCHD. So, we get the hypergrowth with the Tesla, but then we get a solid dividend payer with the SCHD. But this is kind of like the state of my portfolio. The goal here, I want to have over $1 million worth of stock assets. This is not counting like any real estate or anything like that. And I just want to prove that in the next 10 years, it is possible to become a millionaire just investing in stocks with a normal day-to-day job. If any of you are interested, follow me on this journey. You can go ahead and just, subscribe to the channel. And then if you got any value out of the video, just go ahead and like the video. Thank you all for watching the video, and hope you all have a great one.